Play intelligent. Number one, play intelligent. Number two, eliminate mistakes. Number two, eliminate mistakes. Number three, execute. Execute. Second out. Second out.
We get together. And everywhere we go, people always want to know the same thing. Who we are and what we're doing. And I'm most delighted to tell them. The Lord is my life. Lord, my life. And my salvation. And my salvation. Who shall I fear? Who shall I fear? Who shall I fear? Who shall I fear? Enemies trying to harm. Enemies trying to harm. Cut down and kill. Cut down and kill. Cut down and kill. Cut down and kill. The Lord is my life. Lord is my life. And my salvation. And my salvation. Who shall I fear? Who shall I fear?
A crowd which made top 30,000 in the Orange Bowl tonight in Miami, Florida, as well as a statewide television audience on Sunshine Network, ready for the Soul Bowl as the Miami Jackson Generals get set to take on the Miami Northwestern Bulls. The bands are ready, the fans are ready, and the players will be out very shortly. Always a great atmosphere at this traditional clash between Jackson and Northwestern. Good evening, everyone. Rick Peckham along with Sean Alvashire and James Bates. It's great to have you with us for the Soul Bowl here from the Orange Bowl in Miami. And Sean, you talk about the tradition of this game. You talk about bragging rights. They play it for pride. This game has never meant more to these schools than tonight's matchup.
Well, let's just set the stage. Coming into this game, Miami Northwestern, they're number 5 in the country, number 2 in the 6A poll. Jackson, they're number 6 in the 6A poll. And then put it all together, this is for the district championship. It's a great atmosphere, and Batesy, you know something about atmosphere.
Big games, and I had to wait until I got to college before I played in front of over 10,000 people. Over 30,000 people expected to be here tonight, because this isn't just high school football. This is the Soul Bowl, guys.
It sure is, and you saw that both teams are ready to go. They'll be out shortly. Right now we're set for tonight's national anthem performance.
My name is Renero Talbot, and I will be singing the national anthem.
Fans have packed into the Orange Bowl for this one on both sides of the field, as the Jackson Generals not quite set to come out to make their big entrance into the Orange Bowl. And the Bulls of Northwestern Senior High School, the captains heading to midfield for the coin toss. Rick Peckham, Sean Alvashire, James Bates with you tonight here for Sunshine Network's coverage of the new Dodge Florida High School Champion Series. And Sean, it doesn't get bigger than this one as far as regular season play is concerned.
Every year, this is the biggest game in Dade County, regardless of record. When you say throw the records out, that's what this game is.
Let's take it down to the coin toss.
The green team is the home team. The gold team is the visitor.
Number 68.
Cal.
Vernon Carey.
Call in there. If I drop it, we'll do it again. He called it what?
Number 98.
Here's the heads.
Not female.
One that talk and like to receive. What goal you like to defend? Put your back down.
So the Generals will get the ball first, receiving the kickoff from the Northwestern Bulls. Well, they got everybody fired up with the PA, and I don't think you really need much help for this one, Sean, to get ready for this.
This is what they've been waiting for all week. And Rick, we've been doing a bunch of high school football games, but we have yet to see one that has started out like this.
And we've been pleased to bring you week after week in our coverage of the new Dodge Florida High School Champion Series here in Sunshine. Great matchups from all over the state of Florida, known for outstanding high school football. And we've got two schools that have been going at it for a long time in the Soul Bowl here. And as Sean pointed out in the open, everything's on the line tonight.
Northwestern has won the last 10 Soul Bowls, 17 of the last 19. But like we said, you throw the records out. This is the game of games. Never in the history of the Soul Bowl have they come in ranked in the state, undefeated in the district. This game is for the district championship. The game's on live television. 30,000 people packed here into the Orange Bowl. You almost would forget you're at a high school game taking a peek at this.
Absolutely. Matchups like this that were unofficially given the moniker Soul Bowl date back to the 1940s here at the Orange Bowl and other arenas and stadiums in this area. Powell Stadium, even Joe Robbie Stadium hosted a Soul Bowl in 1990.
They had two Soul Bowls, first ever high school games ever held in Joe Robbie Stadium. And anyone familiar with South Florida, Joe Robbie, now pro player, sits in the very north part of Dade County, and they still averaged attendance was over 10,000. That's how important this game is to the community. It really has no bearing on districts or states. Well, this year it does, but as far as the communities are concerned, this game might be more important than the state championship.
Well, these two schools have been going at it when the Soul Bowl was given the official name as such back in 1980, and as Sean pointed out, it's been dominated by the Northwestern Bulls, and they're having a dominating season again this season.
Northwestern, as we mentioned in the open, they're number 5 in the USA Today national poll, and they've built that on the strength of an 8-0 record. And some of the players you will be seeing tonight, you'll be seeing playing on Saturdays and maybe even Sundays. And sometimes when referring to high school players in the pros, it's hyperbolic. Not tonight. The Weaver brothers, known as Double Vision, the twins that play defensive end for Northwestern, and you put them alongside Torrey Cox. Northwestern has a great tradition, but Jackson will come to play tonight.
Well, the Generals make their entrance onto the field here at the Orange Bowl. Last year's matchup was a classic, Sean.
Well, if you like defense, it was a classic. Not too many high school football games end in a 0-0 tie, but that's what happened. Jackson got the ball first in the Kansas City tiebreaker, took the lead on a field goal 3-0, but Torrey Cox, he went in for the touchdown. He's playing tonight, 6-3. Northwestern wins it.
And the Bulls storm onto the field. Jackson head coach Joe Redmond looking calm on the outside. He's got to be churning in the stomach on the inside.
He's coached at the collegiate level, and I asked him all week, coach, you must have been a lot of pressure. You must have been concerned with your kids, but you must be, this isn't as overwhelming as it might seem to us because you coach at the collegiate level. He said, actually, Sean, I never coached a game in college that had this much intensity and pressure.
Billy Roll has his Bulls ready for this one.
Oh, he's a second-year coach, and he's had a long lineage of playing in big games, but now this is his first huge game coaching in it, but he seems rather calm. He's ready to take on the Generals.
Here are the numbers, the tail of the tape, if you will, for both these schools.
You see on offense, both teams can move the ball and they can score. Defense, they hardly give up any. I think a telling stat is points allowed. Northwestern's only given up, on average, 4 points a game. The Generals, 6 points a game.
James Bates is hustled down to field level, and let's pick up this report from James.
Guys, I can't believe this atmosphere for a high school football game. The Bulls come storming out, and the Generals come walking out. And as both teams come out, the coaches are yelling across the field at each other. It's hot here in the Orange Bowl tonight.
Well, James, hopefully you can stay out of the fray, or at least stay neutral in this one. I know you're anxious for some action. Boy, if they head down his sideline tonight, Sean, I don't know. He just might throw a blocker.
And number 7.
I think Coach Roll was looking at him, sizing him up, maybe even wanted to suit up for tonight's game.
Now we're set for the kickoff as the Bulls will open tonight's contest. The kick is short. It's taken to the 32, bobbled, and Northwestern is on it at the 32-yard line. Emmanuel Page, the fullback, covers it on special teams, and Northwestern gets the first break of this ball game at the 32-yard line of Jackson.
Great call. And I'll tell you why. They didn't want the Jackson return men getting the ball and having a big play. The worst thing that can happen is Jackson gets the ball at the 32-yard line. Best thing that can happen, Emmanuel Page recovers an onside kick.
He celebrates on the far sideline. Allison Sheffield is the quarterback, and before we can have a snap from scrimmage, we get a penalty marker thrown. Perhaps too much time taken. I don't know. We'll see what the referee, Willie Robinson, has for us. Offside encroachment, the call against Jackson. So a rough start for the Generals here.
That's simply just lining up off sides. They hadn't even gotten set to run, to start the play.
So now it's Allison Sheffield under center, number 12. 4 wide receivers. The handoff goes to Torrey Cox. He breaks a tackle. Crosses the 15. Stumbles across the 10. Reaches the 8. Close to a 20-yard gain on the first play from scrimmage for Torrey Cox.
On gridiron, we say on the 7th day he rested, but on the 8th day he created Torrey Cox. They spread the field. He takes it straight upfield, and look at the extra effort. You will see that all night from Torrey Cox. This is a guy that doesn't know how to go out of bounds.
They mark him at the 9 after an 18-yard gain. Cox gets it again, and he is tackled after a pickup of about 1. James Dumerville, number 95, brings him down.
Dumerville, a very special player, only a junior, maybe their best defensive lineman.
2nd and goal now for the Bulls as we have a look at their offensive alignment, brought to you by the new Dodge.
Cox and Page, Finney and Bryant, and David Williams, the tight end. Up front, Carey, Denson, McFarley, Guillaume, and Shellman. But watch for Carey to be at guard tonight.
A lot of beef on that front line, but a lot of talent too. And they open a hole for Cox up the middle. He reaches the 5 on a pickup of 3. And it will be 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. You look at that Jackson defense. Let's run down the lineup for you. Brought to you by the new Dodge.
Gashlin, Trillia, Oliver, Dumerville, Roll, Stewart, and Green are the backers. And in the secondary, Ellick, Williams, Curry, Burns, he's a good one, and Johnson.
The Bulls recover the opening kickoff, setting up this drive. The pitch to Cox, and he's got nowhere to go. The Generals swarm and take him down. Linebacker James Green led the charge with great penetration.
James Green knows how to run upfield, but Northwestern on that play got away what got them down there. They went to a power set, double tight power backfield with 3 in the middle. They know they're going to run. Jackson brought everyone right after Cox.
That makes it 4th and goal back at the 9-yard line. And Manny Vialta, number 84, is on to kick. The attempt for the field goal is good. So the Bulls strike first. They get some points out of the first break of this huge ball game and take a 3-0 lead with 9:50 remaining in the opening quarter.
That's going to be big for confidence. Both kicking games have struggled all years. That's going to give Northwestern some confidence in their kicking game, getting those opening couple points.
Well, Jackson will now try to respond. 31-yard field goal by Vialta has put the Bulls on top first. Joe Redmond a little upset by the start of things. As we see, Northwestern has jumped out on top with their 8-0 record, 5-0 in the district. Jackson also 5-0 in the district, but they come in at 7-1 after a season-opening loss to Miami High of 16-12.
One of the tougher losses that Jackson's had in the past 2 years. They went up against Miami High, who has made a late surge, but they have maybe the best player in the state in Andre Johnson. They got the better of him at the end. Jackson made a lot of penalties, but since that loss, Jackson has been on a roll.
Let's see if they get to handle it on offense here. A clean reception on the kickoff. And it's Cyril Jones, number 3, chased out of bounds. And good field position awaits the Generals on the first chance for them to handle the ball. And they'll start at the 30-yard line.
Jones returning kicks, and he also had a couple touchdowns a week ago. And out comes Ronnie Jones, the quarterback. He didn't start the season, Rick, at quarterback. It was King Hall. But after a midseason injury, Ronnie Jones has come in, and he's 3-0 as a starter. But we might see Hall for the first time tonight. We haven't seen him in 3 games for Jackson.
Jones out of the shotgun has 4 wideouts, actually 5. As they look to go to the air early on, he rolls, trying to get away from Anthony Dixon, and no go there. He's dropped for a loss of 6.
They may have 5 wide, Rick, but that's not going to stop Northwestern from what they do best, and that's bring the house.
Here's the Generals offense brought to you by the new Dodge.
Logan and Gibbs, and there's Capers, Huggins, and Jones. Up front, Butler, Abrego, Parks, Timms, and Smith.
Generals off to a slow start here. Their first play from scrimmage results in a 5-yard sack of Ronnie Jones. 2nd and 15. They keep 2 backs in. Little added protection. Jones fires. It's nearly picked off. As Levy Brown nearly had the interception at the 30-yard line.
Levy Brown, he's their starting strong safety, but tonight he's at linebacker. They want an extra DB in there playing linebacker that can cover, and he almost came up with a big play.
Here's the Northwestern defense, brought to you by the new Dodge.
Cave, Dixon, Yarber in the middle, and double vision, the 2 Weaver twins on the end. Swain, Worth, and Simpson, Brown, and Brown.
And those Weaver twins, that's Jermel wearing 97, Jarrell 98. At least we hope so tonight, John. 3rd down at 15, Jones connects. He's got Stephen Logan, and Logan crosses the 45-yard line, and he's got a first down up near midfield. Logan's a fine running back, but he's also an outstanding receiver.
Logan, he's 12th in the county with 16 catches and 252 yards. You have to respect his ability to catch. What a great move. He slips out, then is able to run down the sideline and get a first down. Big play for the Generals.
Tavares Capers came back and threw a great block for him, too, as they will get a new set of downs from the 48-yard line. Jones hands it off to Logan. Can't find any room up the middle. Arthur Cave, 85, celebrates the tackle. He's up in that powerful front line along with the Weavers, Anthony Dixon, and Brandon Yarber. Second down and almost 10. Backs kept in as Jones operates out of the shotgun. And he fires over the middle. He's got Capers at the 40 and the 39-yard line of Northwestern. And that's enough for a first down on the pickup of 13.
Now watch Logan, he releases, but they're going to keep Gibbs in the block. They have to worry about the Weaver twins. Jones does a great job staying in there. Capers, he'll find the seam, the soft spot in the man-to-man coverage, and it's up to the quarterback to get him, and they got another first down.
Pretty good numbers on the season for Capers. The handoff out of that shotgun formation. A short gain there for Stephen Logan, number 2, as Brandon Yarber, 96, in on the tackle.
There's going to be a real battle between the Weaver twins on the ends because they like to come full force after the quarterback. Jackson knows it. Instead of trying to stop him, what they're going to try to do tonight is use their aggression against him. Look for screens tonight for Jackson.
Ronnie Jones back to pass. Throws short, and he connects with Cyril Jones. He's marked down at the 34-yard line. Sidney Simpson, number 1. The cornerback comes up to make the tackle on a pickup of 4, and that will leave them 3rd and 5.
You got to give credit to Ronnie Jones. This is his 4th start, and he's doing it in the Soul Bowl in front of 30,000 people. And after a shaky first play where he got sacked, he's found Capers and he's found Cyril Jones picking up a couple first downs.
Now it's Jones under center with Cyril Jones in motion. The handoff goes to Logan. He's caught in the backfield, and down he goes. Quentin Swain, 52, got the penetration to make the tackle on Logan, dropping him for a loss.
You know, Quentin Swain watches a lot of film because every time that Jackson puts a man in motion from the boundary, they always like to run to the right side. You see the man in motion, and they go away from the motion, and in comes Quentin Swain.
They'll be looking at a 4th and 8 coming up. Sunshine Network's coverage of the Florida High School Champion Series is brought to you by the new Dodge and by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. You either have it in you or you don't. Life's a sport. Drink it up.
Check this out. Stuff goes there. Friends pile in here. You grab this. 132 horses go here. To take you and 4 of your friends here, there, anywhere. They'll think you're cool, but we'll know you're smart.
Coverage of Northwestern and Jackson on the Florida High School Champion Series is brought to you in part by Church's Chicken. On 4th and 8 from the 37, the Generals will punt, and it's Keith Brown on the return. He's heading for the sideline. Arthur Stewart flings him out of bounds at the 43. A huge return for Yule Brown, number 4, and once again, it'll be the Bulls working with a short field.
Keith Brown might be one of the best players ever to be on Gridiron Report all year. He plays defensive back. He has 3 interceptions, a couple touchdowns off those interceptions, including a 91-yarder against Central that sealed the game for Northwestern 2 weeks ago. Here he returns kicks, and he only has one man to beat, and it was a great job by using the boundary. Great tackle, throwing him out of bounds. But Keith Brown, only a junior, very special defensive back for the Bulls.
45-yard return by Brown. Penalty markers are down as we look at the 5'8 junior, weighs 160 pounds. And the officials headed tonight by Willie Robinson.
Dead ball. Dead ball. Personal foul. Green. We got enough. I have enough dead ball foul. Green. Both of them.
Wow, 2 dead ball fouls against the Generals. I think the first one was on that tackle by Stewart, as Brown was apparently out of bounds when Stewart flung him down.
Here comes Brown, and here comes Arthur Stewart. He's the starting linebacker for Jackson, and it was very close to the boundary, but I think the excessiveness of the tackle is what drew the flag from the official.
You're right, Sean. Stewart forced him out, but once he crossed the sideline, that's when Stewart threw him down, and the officials objected to that. So that is going to move the ball very deep in General territory. They're going to mark off both these penalties now. Northwestern leading 3-0 with 5:45 to go in the first quarter, and they on the benefit of a 45-yard punt return and successive personal fouls against the Generals move the ball down to the 14-yard line.
You can probably hear the Jackson faithful up in arms here on the near sideline.
Huge development here. Handoff goes to Torrey Cox. He's got room. Trying to get outside. He's met at a solid hit. Stephen Ellick, number 11, with a big tackle there.
They went to the shotgun this time, and it's a little inside handoff. They like to run this with Cox spread the field and let his athletic ability be the difference. But against Jackson, athleticism is the norm out here. No one's going to have a real big advantage against anyone, and there you see his numbers, leading Dade County in rushing this season.
Cox picked up 4 in that carry. Ball at the 10, second down and 6. 3 wideouts to the right. And the handoff to Cox, and he is caught just as soon as he gets the handoff. He is dropped to the turf by Cyril Covington, number 13.
2 weeks ago, Central lined up everybody in the box just to stop Torrey Cox. Here you can see some of the best defensive front players in the state of Florida lining up for Jackson. You can see that they're going to try to stop Cox and let Allenson Sheffield try to win the game passing the ball.
Both these teams like to roll the dice with the 4 and 5 wideouts, and then the Bulls paid the price there. Sheffield hit as he throws, and his delivery is short. Intended for Howard Lewis on that far side. Edward Roll got to Sheffield, and that'll bring up 4th down and about 10 from the 15.
Boy, you couldn't have said it any better. From your words to Coach Redmond's ears, rolling the dice. They had Edward Roll lined up against the slot, and right as the ball was snapped, he came flying in off the corner, got some pressure on Sheffield, unable to complete that pass.
Manny Vialta attempting a 32-yard field goal attempt. He's 1 for 1 tonight. Got under that one a bit. It's going to be short and wide to the right. So the Bulls, despite the huge punt return and gift field position with 30 additional yards and back-to-back penalties against Jackson, are unable to capitalize, and our score remains 3-0 with 4:18 to go in the first.
Well, they were able to get the first field goal, but both teams' kicking games are not very good, and I think you saw a little bit of that right there. The kick was way too high. He got under it. They don't have great kickers at either school.
The new Dodge Florida High School Champion Series continues on Sunshine Network Thursday, featuring an exciting matchup between Jacksonville Reigns and Jacksonville Ed White. Game time set for 7 p.m. Thursday, only on Sunshine Network. Generals take over at the 20 following the missed field goal. And it's Ronnie Jones back to throw. And Tavares Capers couldn't pick it off the shoe tops. It's incomplete.
Well, Jackson's going to go with what brought him here, and that's lining up in the gun, putting the 2 backs in the backfield, keeping 1 in, sending Logan out, and then just trying to confuse the secondary of Northwestern. They've done it all season, and they have the quarterback. Coach Redmond teaches them. They have the guy that can pull the trigger.
2nd and 10 from the 20 for Jackson. Jones fires. Capers has this one, escapes a couple of bulls and heads for the sideline. He is collared on the far side and knocked out of bounds near midfield. Penalty marker down, though, back near the 30-yard line. We'll have to wait for that to be settled.
That was made by James Gerald. Illegal block on the offense.
You look at tonight's officials. Willie Robinson, the referee. The illegal block goes against the Generals. That'll bring back a big gain as finally Capers was collared over there by James Gerald.
Well, in our open, we saw Northwestern preach discipline, discipline, discipline. So far for Jackson, they've had a rough go of it here. Field position, mistakes, and now penalties, keeping them from having any kind of successful offense. That could have been it right there. Now comes the flag.
Like
Great work by the guys down in the truck to pick that one up. Could have been like a leg whip, but look at that throw. Granted, this is coming back, but that's a great throw by Ronnie Jones, getting it over there to Tavares Capers, who was up against Yul Keith Brown.
Well, that was the illegal block. They bring it back to the 16-yard line, and it's 2nd down all over again. And the pass by Ronnie Jones over the head of Cyril Jones, and he's jumping up and down looking for an interference call. But it doesn't appear like they're going to get it, and as a result, it will be 3rd down and 14.
Sidney Simpson, he got away with one there. Basically put his hand out and started dancing with Cyril Jones at the 40-yard line, and the referee missed it. Northwestern gets a break.
Ronnie Jones trying to help his team dig out of a hole here. You see they're down 3-0, but with the mistakes. And Sean, it kind of sounds like what we were talking about in Gainesville last week. Early on with Buchholz, with the mistakes that they made, they ended up coming back to win. It could be worse here for the Generals. Jones is clobbered as he throws, and it's well over the head of Stephen Logan.
Pick your poison. You want Jarrell Weaver or do you want Jermel Weaver? Because sooner or later, they're going to pin their ears back and they are going to get you. And that time, Jarrell Weaver comes flying through. Jarrell, if you want a somewhat difference between the two, Jarrell is the bigger of the two. He's bigger, he's stronger. But Jermel, he's actually the quicker one. But I'll tell you right now, both of them were born with rockets up the rear end because they are the two fastest defensive ends in this state, without a doubt. Nobody can compare to them.
4th and 14 from the 16. Carlos Martinez just gets that kick away. I don't know how that one wasn't blocked. The Bulls are content to let that ball hit, and it stops right at midfield. So once again, Billy Roll's Bulls will have excellent field position to try to build on a 3-0 lead following the 34-yard punt.
Let's take a look at the two ends. Northwestern gets a block in almost every game. Here comes Sidney Simpson. Here comes Levy Brown. Levy Brown is incredibly dangerous coming off the corner. That time, Generals were able to get off the punt. Good contain up the middle.
Allenson Sheffield, number 12. Start this possession right from midfield. Out of the I formation. More traditional look here from the Bulls. And it's Cox with the help of some blocking straight ahead, but he was forced back, and a huge hit there by Arthur Stewart, number 1, the linebacker.
You think Arthur Stewart is thinking about that penalty he had a couple plays ago? Look at this, steps right up into the hole. Torrey Cox didn't even see him. What's even impressive about that play, Arthur Stewart had a block on him, was able to get off the block and get in there and make the tackle. And look at the helmet job that Arthur's got. He's got a couple decals. He got a couple extra ones in there. Hey, they might be your favorite team. You're a big Packer guy. I know that.
Look just like him. 6-yard gain by Cox, though. 2nd and 4. Sheffield rolls out, completes the pass to Lamont Finney. He's got the first down inside the 30. They'll mark him at the 29-yard line. Ben Johnson, number 5, over to make the tackle along with Xavier Williams, 27. And Finney is limping to the sidelines. Let's check in with James.
Guys, Arthur Stewart, the linebacker for Jackson, he's only 5'9", 180 pounds, but he's playing like a giant. Has made some huge plays here tonight. 2 plays ago, one of the best linebacker plays I've seen all year. Shedded a block and made a big stick.
Bates's got to like that.
He loves that great linebacker play.
16-yard hookup from Sheffield to Finney, who limped to the sidelines. Cox looks for room, marker down, and he reaches the 27-yard line before Arthur Stewart lands another big hit.
Apparently Finney was a little bit banged up coming into the game, because when we were down on the field, the coaches were having him run up and down.
Defense.
As we get the penalty there.
Holding indicated against Northwestern. Yeah, it appeared from the warm-up that Finney was limping just a bit.
But I asked the coach, and I said, is anything wrong with Lamont? Oh, no, nothing's wrong with him. Not giving anything away.
Not for this.
Like, coach, he's limping. No, he's fine.
He'll mark it back at the 38. It'll be first down again. First down and 19.
Well, they've been coming with Cox. They're in the I formation. They ran the pass, and they come about, bring it one more time, but there's going to be a holding somewhere in that mess, and out comes the flag.
Sheffield, once again, the Bulls operate out of the I, play action. Sheffield rolling, looking deep, and it is over the head of Antonio Bryant, number 88. He was looking both ways, trying to haul that one in, as Sheffield with a good play fake and plenty of time to look for.
If it's one thing that the Northwestern Bulls can do, and that's blocking, you can see him up there. There's no penetration. And with the play action that Allison Sheffield has been using, he's able to buy himself some time. But downfield, great coverage, and I guess there's nobody faster on the field than number 5, Ben Johnson. That's a quick safety.
Taken after his namesake. Second and 19 now from the 38 of Jackson. Northwestern leading 3-0. They've been threatening time and again in this first quarter. Now it's Sheffield taken off. Close to a first down. Xavier Williams, 27, chased him out. See where they mark him.
The pocket breaks down, but this is what Allison Sheffield does so well. Touchdown, but watch number 3 come in. James Gerald, great crack back block, frees him up and gets very close to the first down.
And he's got it, reaching the 18.
You see the protection? It breaks down a little bit, and out goes Sheffield. But watch number 3, James Gerald. Hello, great block.
First and 10 from the 18. And it's Cox for a short gain. Edward Roll, 45, in on the stop. Torrey Cox, the hero of last year's matchup here at the Orange Bowl, as he scored the winning touchdown in overtime. Second down and 10 from the 18. See the clock moving. We're late here in the first quarter of the Soul Bowl from the Orange Bowl. Play action. Sheffield steps inside one rusher, looks short, and completes the pass. Sheffield took a hit to complete that pass to Rashad Smith, number 19, and he gets it down to the Jackson 10-yard line. It'll be third and short.
The one thing about Dade County football that's different from the rest of the state is the speed and the hitting. That time Sheffield did a great job of eluding Lewis Gashelin, gets the pass off to Smith just to pick up a couple yards.
Edward Roll registers another big hit on that tackle. 2 wideouts to the right. High formation behind Allison Sheffield. And he hands it off to Cox around left end and in for the touchdown. On the third try, Northwestern breaks through for 6 points to make it 9-0.
Jackson overloads the left side of the scrimmage. Great call. Cox goes to his left, which would be Jackson's right. They had a mismatch, seal the corner, touchdown.
Vialta adds the extra point for a 10-0 lead late here in this first quarter. And the Bulls cheerleaders have a lot to get excited about. Let's have a look at this play once again.
Look at the great blocking up front by the Northwestern Bulls, sealing the corner. And all you have to do is give Torrey Cox an ounce of room. He is so quick out of his stance. Look at the fullback come up. Great inside block, sealing, touchdown.
10-yard run by Cox for the score. The scoring drive of 50 yards took 3 minutes and 20 seconds, and Torrey Cox finished it off like he can do so well. Well, they've had 2 attempts at a field goal. Vialta made 1 of 2, and now on the 3rd try, getting the ball at midfield on the short punt. They capitalize for 7 points.
There's 20 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, and I think Coach Joe Redmond can't wait for this first quarter to be over.
Generals were rushing Stephen Logan onto the field as one of the deep men. Now we're set for the kickoff, and it's Rashad Smith. Made a nice reception on that drive, setting up the touchdown run, swimming one out of bounds at the 24. And the officials, I think, are conferring whether that ball was touched or it went out clean and would bring the penalty flag. And
Rick,
it will.
We've seen a lot of this. Teams do not want to kick deep anymore. They'd rather just kick it short and just give teams the ball at the 35. Don't want the big play.
Generals have the option here of having Northwestern kick over or taking it at the 35, as Sean indicates, and the Generals will do just that. They'll take it from the 35-yard line.
But that's okay. Northwestern, with their defense, they don't want a big play to get the Jackson crowd back into it. So they'll concede kicking the ball, squib it up in the air, make it hard to receive. If it goes out of bounds, okay, we'll bring our best 11 out on defense and make you drive 65 yards.
Now, you know the Bulls know how to play with a lead. They're in the lead all the time, week in, week out, so they know how to play it conservative at the right times. Logan on the carry for the Generals, picks up good yardage. 6 yards there for Stephen Logan as the clock will wind down, ending the first quarter of play here at the Orange Bowl. Northwestern has jumped out in front 10-0 in the 1998 Soul Bowl over Jackson Senior High.
You don't get in this kind of shape running on a treadmill. You do it with strength exercise, and I do it with a Bowflex. You know, if you're not working out with strength training right now, you need to, because if you want to lose weight, you got to add the muscle, and that's why you need a Bowflex machine. It's like nothing else you've ever tried before. We've got over 60 exercises you can do on a Bowflex. You're never going to get bored. You can do a full workout in 20 minutes on a Bowflex machine. You're not going to believe how effective Bowflex is the first time you get on it. Bowflex may look a little different, but that's because we designed it to function correctly. Bowflex uses power rod resistance. Bowflex power rods are so effective that Bowflex guarantees results in 6 weeks or your money back. Try going to the gym and getting a guarantee on results. You won't find it. If you call and get our free videotape, you're going to see an effective workout and see how easy and quick and fun working out with Bowflex is.
It's UF Saturday night, and everyone's feeling all right. Proving their way up the polls, the Gators two-step into Tennessee, teaching the Commodores the dance of defeat. Florida takes on Vanderbilt Saturday night at 11 on Sunshine.
The new Dodge Florida High School Champion Series on Sunshine Network is brought to you in part by Dairy Farmers. Got milk? First play of the second quarter, and it's Stephen Logan breaking into the Northwestern secondary, picking up 19 yards to the Bulls' 40-yard line. Let's check in with Batesy.
Guys, you know it's war when your principal wears his fatigues to the game. Joining me now is Jackson principal Lewis Allen Jr. And Mr. Allen, talk about this week at school. It's so exciting here today. It must have been a fun week at school.
It was an exciting week for us this week as we prepared for this annual classic against Northwestern Senior High School. And we're just excited about it. And right now we're not feeling too well. The score is 10-0, and hopefully it's gut check time to see whether we're going to do what we need to do to get back in this football game.
Right, they just had a big play and getting their mind back back on the winning track. But as far as their minds on the books all week, it seems like it'd be a hard week to keep your mind on the books. But I know you are proud of the way this football team and all of your students have, not just this week, but throughout the year, kept their mind on academics.
Yeah, and we stress academics first before anything as relates to athletics. Our kids understand and realize that they're not going to get on the playing field unless they do what they have to do in the classroom. That's what we really stress with our kids.
All right. Thank you, and go cheer your guys on. Thank you very much, Mr. Allen.
All right, Keith Brown nearly picked off a pass and ran it back for 6. We'll have another look here, Sean.
This is a guy you don't want to test, Keith Brown, and that time they did, and great job. He has incredible explosion, great ability to close on a receiver, and that time he nearly had an interception for the Bulls.
It is 3rd down and 12 facing the Generals. They've been looking at 3rd and long a lot here in this first half, and they get the Bulls to jump. If it is indeed at Northwestern offside, it would certainly help the Jackson cause. And they will walk it off against Northwestern.
Rick, well, we'll take a peek at the penalty.
That ball, encroachment, defense.
Rick, I think one of the things that surprised us this week is the talking within the media. It was almost like a professional game, the way they were talking to each other using reporters, saying how they were going to do this to them and that. It had that kind of college game, pro game kind of feel.
Sure did. 3rd and 7. Ronnie Jones fires, and Tavares Capers trying to grab it. It could be a simultaneous possession with Keith Brown getting his hands in there. And they indicate that the ball will belong to Jackson. A penalty marker was thrown in there. Perhaps Brown over the back as the officials talk it over. And it's close to where the Generals need to reach for the 1st down.
Pass interference. Here. Green, look here.
Let's take a peek here, Rick. Capers comes up, in comes Brown. Oh, that's a real iffy call right there. Brown did a great job. I mean, I'll tell you what, Coach Rowe will see that and say, I want you to do that every time. That time he got caught flagged, but I bet you 9 times out of 10 he doesn't.
Well, the defensive player, the offensive player have an equal opportunity to that ball, and that's the way that looked. However, it's all for naught because Capers makes the catch.
And that was a great throw. Ronnie Jones got that ball off right as Levy Brown put him right to the turf with an exhilarating shot. So both these quarterbacks are feeling both defenses tonight.
With the mark-off following the penalty, 1st and 10 from the 21. It's Logan. He's dragged down from behind by James Gerald, number 3. And he picks up close to 5 yards. So the Generals, with their deepest penetration into Northwest territory, looking to get on the board here early in the 2nd.
Stephen Logan, he has 677 yards. We also mentioned he's 12th in the county in receiving, 7 touchdowns. He's known as sweet and low to his teammates.
He's averaging 4 yards a carry, 28 yards and 7 carries so far in this ball game. 2nd and 5 from the 15. Make it 2nd and 4. And it's Ronnie Jones escaping one tackler, but he cannot get away from Issa Gary, number 60, who traps him in the backfield for a loss.
Capers coming up, and then he makes a great move on the post corner against Brown, but really Ronnie Jones had no time to get rid of this. Look, as soon as he does the play action, here comes Jermel Weaver. He's just trying to get away from Gary at this point.
Textbook example of how to turn a play in by a defensive end to set up that tackle. Here's Jones running, throwing, and it's complete for the touchdown. Luther Huggins, number 8, on the catch. The Generals are on the board. They trail 10-6 pending the point-after touchdown attempt.
Watch Jerome Weaver. We said they're going to use his aggressiveness against him. He didn't contain. He lets Ronnie Jones get outside. And what a great pass to Huggins.
16 yards on the connection from Ronnie Jones to Luther Huggins. Carlos Martinez adds the extra point. And the Generals on the board here in the second quarter with 9:22 to go in the first half. It's 10-7 Northwestern in the Soul Bowl.
Step right up.
When would you like to dance?
Of course, you lead.
Got milk?
The New Touch High School Champion Series. High school football is more than just a game. It is enthusiasm, rivalries, and all-out excitement. Jacksonville Reigns and Jacksonville Ed White, Thursday at 7 on Sunshine. Log on to Florida High School Athletics with SunshineNetwork.com. The most complete coverage of Florida's preps from Key West to the Panhandle is on SunshineNetwork.com. SunshineNetwork.com, your web source for Florida sports.
Stay with us after tonight's coverage of the 1998 Soul Bowl. It's Sunshine Network Live, so be sure to stay with us. Low kick. And the Bulls will bring it back near the 40-yard line. Theodore Richardson, number 36, a wide receiver, was brought down at the 38. And it's Allenson Sheffield leading his offense on the field. Boy, they've been in control in terms of field position and time of possession, but they're only up 3 here. You can tack on an extra point to that touchdown. 10-7 our score here as Northwestern gets the ball for the 4th time. Short pass is completed to Antonio Bryant, number 88, the outstanding wideout of the Bulls. And he brings the ball up to the 43, a gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
Antonio Bryant, he came in from Coral Gables a year ago, and he has been a great wide receiver for Northwestern this year. Very difficult for kids to transfer and make an impact, but he's done a great job.
2 wideouts to the near side. Cox gets the handoff, and he's dragged down immediately. Andre Oliver, number 93, got the penetration and pulled him down.
Andre Oliver, 5'11", 265 pounds, and that's being nice to Andre. But let me tell you something, he is about as unblockable as anybody on that defensive front. They claim they're the best defensive front in the state of Florida, and standing next to him, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't argue with him.
Now the Bulls 1 for 3 on 3rd down. Looking at a 3rd and 6 here from the 43, and Sheffield didn't like what he saw in that defensive lineup by the Generals, and he signals for a timeout.
And with that timeout,
Joe Redmond's team is rallying here in the second quarter. Looks like they've settled down, and let's have a look at how the polls stand going into the weekend, Sean.
The Dreadnoughts are our #1 team, and they are clearly the best 5A team. And as you go down the list, you see St. Thomas and South Plantation, 3 and 4. Tonight, they play for the district championship. There are a lot of great games tonight. If you take a look at Gainesville at number 8, they have Buchholz, who we saw 1 week ago. The 4A poll, Jacksonville reigns in at number 4. We'll see them next Thursday against Jacksonville Ed White, who we noticed was the number 2 team in Class 5A. So every week it just seems to be getting better. Class 3A poll, Union County and Pahokee at 2. They might have the best player in the state of Florida in Anquan Bolden. Mr. Everything. I'll tell you what, the only thing that can stop Anquan Bolden for Pahokee is kryptonite.
It's not legal at the high school level, is it? 3rd down and 6 here for the Bulls. It's Sheffield rolling out. He'll keep it, and he won't get to the 1st down. Andre Oliver, he may be 5'11", 265, but he's a quick 265. Great pursuit to get over there and land a thundering hit on Sheffield to leave him a couple of yards short of the 1st down.
Louis Gashelin, who is one of the 4 men up front for Miami Jackson, was quoted in the paper this week saying, "We will stop them like they have never been stopped before."
A lot of football to be played to see if that comes true. And it's 4th down and 2 near midfield. Levy Brown to punt. Cyril Jones on the reception, drops the ball, and the Bulls have it. Penalty marker down. Antonio Bryant recovers the ball. No marker down. They will take over the 15-yard line.
That was tough, Rick. They were throwing the beanbag down with the fumble. It looks like a flag, but that's no flag. Let's take a peek at this one more time. He should have called fair catch. He chooses not to, and a super play. That is textbook football by Northwestern. James Gerald, he's been playing. He hasn't come off the field tonight. He plays wide receiver, defensive back, and then he makes the play on the punt coverage.
Another break for the Bulls. Short drop, they swing it out, and Cox trying to make sure that ball goes out of bounds. It was a lateral, and he tapped it out. They will mark it back at the 23-yard line, a loss of 8.
Heads up play there by Torrey Cox. Here you'll see it's going to be a quick screen pass, but it actually ends up being a lateral. But look at the heads up play by Torrey Cox, realizing that ball is still live, runs and just kicks it out of bounds. Even more impressive, he didn't try to pick it up and do something with it, just got it out of bounds.
Northwestern has shown good poise all night long in this game. However, they're looking at a 2nd and 18, and Cox has a clear path to the end zone. Barker's down in the end zone, probably for the taunt. But it's 23 yards for the score for Torrey Cox.
And if that is unsportsmanlike, that'll back up the extra point 15 yards, and that could hurt them because Northwestern doesn't have a good kicking game either.
Yeah, good. We got unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. Northwestern doesn't do anything fancy. They bring the fullback up with the great block on the linebacker, and Torrey Cox says, "You chose me because you recognize the skills." Look at this, the left tackle, or the right tackle, right guard split. Great job by Emmanuel Page. He's one of the best blocking fullbacks in the state. Great job, and Torrey Cox does the rest.
Cox gets a well-deserved rest on the far side. They mark off the penalty.
That run by Torrey Cox is good for 23 yards.
Snap for the kick will originate from the 18-yard line. So now Billy Roll will change it up here as he sends.
Stop.
Yeah, if you take a look at this game, Jackson has basically done everything to give Northwestern great field position. When Northwestern's forced to go the length of the field, Jackson's done great. But they've given him a couple short fields, and Northwestern has taken advantage.
Roll reinserted Sheffield, the quarterback, and so from the 18, they will go for 2 here, leading 16-7.
This has to do with the fact that they don't have a very strong kicking game, as we saw in that one field goal.
Cox back in there, and we get a flag thrown.
Off start.
Now the Bulls could get that formation settled down, so they'll be backed up 5 more yards. Boy, they incur 20 yards in penalties just to attempt an extra point here, as they will start from the 23, which ironically happened to be the line of scrimmage for Torrey Cox's touchdown run.
Run the same play.
The same ball, sure. Let's see. He's the lone setback. They fake it to him. Sheffield leaping, and he's tackled, so the conversion attempt is no good. And so James Dumerville prevented that 2-point attempt. We've got an injured Bull down on the field. And the score remains 16-7 Northwestern with 7:01 remaining here in the first half. And the injured player will be attended to. We'll step aside here in Sunshine Network. Our coverage of the Soul Bowl from the Orange Bowl continues in just a moment.
Is it pain? Is it pleasure? Gatorade, is it in you?
Welcome back to the Orange Bowl in Miami, the side of our coverage tonight on Sunshine Network of the New Dodge Florida High School Champion Series, the Soul Bowl, and Northwestern leads at 16-7. We'll see what happened to Vernon Carey here in the injury.
Number 68, Vernon Carey, you'll see he's at guard, and in comes Doomerville on the tackle, but he leg whips Carey from behind. That's the injury, but it appears Carey is okay.
Now the kickoff will be brought back as the Bulls were offside, so they'll mark off 5 more yards against Northwestern. The Bulls lead 16-7, a pair of Torrey Cox touchdown runs of 10 yards and 23 yards have Billy Roll's squad in front. They also had a game-opening field goal by Manny Vialta.
Big Vernon Carey, and talking to some high school evaluators, they say that he is the quintessential offensive lineman. 6'5", 330 pounds, and he is very nimble, moves like a 250-pound type player. Just very good feet, able to get low, extend his arms. There's not many that are as good as Vernon Carey, and we might see that at the end of the year when All-American teams start coming out.
The Bulls will re-kick from their 35. And the kick is taken short at the 22-yard line. Plenty of room for Stephen Logan. Gets across midfield. Sidney Simpson, number 1, in on the tackle. So the Generals working with a little field position here.
This is the first time that Jackson's really had some good starting field position in this ball game. Let's take a look at this one more time. Of course, Logan is their starting tailback. He gets the ball on the right side and brings it all the way back to the left. Does a great job utilizing his speed. But then he just gets tripped up by his own player trying to make a move, allows Northwestern to catch up from him from behind. But Logan doing a great job for the Generals tonight.
Generals start for the 49 with Logan. He ducked under a huge hit at that line of scrimmage thrown by Quentin Swain, number 52. Swain wanted to get a little bigger piece of young Mr. Logan than he did.
Well, Stephen Logan comes in at 5'8", and I'm sure Quentin Swain had his way on that play, that Logan would be about 5'3".
Logan picked up 3 yards, 2nd and 7. Generals down 9 here in the second quarter. Jones out of the shotgun. Ronnie looking deep. And he throws it too far for Cyril Jones, who had his man Simpson beaten down the sidelines. Let's check in with Batesy downstairs.
Guys, talking to the Northwestern trainers, Vernon just came off with a slight ankle sprain, but nothing will keep him off the field tonight. This is too big for him to stay on the sidelines.
Thanks, James.
Sounds like James wants to strap on Vernon's pads. Hey, if you can't go, Vernon, I'll go. I'll go.
Shows you the resiliency of youth. It looked like a pretty serious leg roll there, and fortunately, Vernon Carey not seriously injured on that. 3rd down and 7. Jones 4 of 10, 67 yards, 1 touchdown for the Generals so far. He's looking deep down the near side. He's got capers, but it's over his head and out of bounds. Ewell Brown, number 4, was on the coverage. He was beaten on that and limped a bit slightly at the end of that play, but twice Ronnie Jones has had open men down the sidelines.
Well, it's not entirely Ronnie Jones's fault. That time we've been talking about the Weavers, but number 85, Arthur Cave, came through and laid a licking on Jones. Had to release that ball a half a second before he wanted to, and that is what forced the errant pass.
4th and 7 now, coming up from the 46. And we've got a timeout on the field as the Bulls gather near their bench. And the Generals are doing likewise, gathering actually more toward the center of the field. Sean?
We've talked about the intensity of this game and how important it is for the communities. But in talking to the coaches, they have another reason that they want to win this game. If you take a look at the playoff brackets, the loser of this game will get the district champion in District 13. And who is that? The 2-time defending 6A champions, the Carroll City Chiefs. Nobody wants a part of them in the first round.
Wow, that's a tough go right off the bat. They'll tune into Sunshine Network Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. for the Gridiron Report, hosted by my partner Sean Alvashire for all the latest on high school football in Florida. The Gridiron Report, Thursdays at 4:30 on Sunshine Network.
I have never missed that show in 5 years. Great television. Great television.
It's a pretty sterling record, Sean.
I'm like Cal Ripken of the Gridiron Report. I haven't missed one yet.
We're just glad to have you show up for work. I understand that's not always the case with you, but
you know, I'm taking a look at this crowd here, and they opened up the end zone. That was originally closed off. Pretty soon they might have to open up the upper deck.
Yeah.
This is a crowd.
This crowd has swelled considerably from the start of the game. We expected perhaps more than 30,000 fans, and of course we expect a pretty good audience statewide looking in tonight on Sunshine Network, and certainly the crowd here in the Orange Bowl has not disappointed us.
Well, there was some talk to the athletic directors of both teams, like, well, doing the game live, will that hurt attendance? And they're saying, oh no, the Soul Bowl's an event. There's only one place to be on Friday night, and that's in the Orange Bowl. And I think most of Dade County has shown up tonight.
Well, I'll have a chance at halftime to visit with some Miami-Dade County school officials, get their perspectives on the academics involving this area of the state, as well as highlights as the punt is short but bounces. Yule Brown picks it up at the 11. He's downed immediately at the 13-yard line. DeJuan West, 54 on the tackle. 35-yard kick. And midway through this second quarter, the Bulls have the ball once again, but with their worst field position so far tonight, they're 12.
Unfortunately for Northwestern, Jackson wasn't kind enough to give them the ball deep in their own territory. They're going to make Northwestern try to drive the whole field this time.
Yeah, they've had drives that started from the 32, from the 15. They've had one at midfield.
We might be calling them the generous generals here in the first half.
As a result, they've got almost as many points as they have offensive yards. They haven't had to go very far to score tonight, and they lead at 16-7. Corey Cox on the carry, reaching the 15 for a pickup of 3.
Well, we've already broken a scoring record. These defenses, Jackson coming in at average giving up 6. Northwestern average giving up only 3. It's 16-7. We have a shootout on our hands.
Yeah, the way these two teams play defense, absolutely. Cox, the tailback out of the eye. He gets the handoff, dives ahead, and down he goes, reaching the 17. James Dumerville will be calling his name a lot tonight, number 95 on that Generals defense on the tackle.
Let's take a look at the All-American. You think he's healthy? Look at this. He gets his claws into Bushnell Triolea and just puts him to the ground. And there's a term for that, and it's called a pancake.
It looks like Andre Denson is an injured player on the field, one of the starting guards of the Bulls, number 62, and with 5:13 to play in the half, we get another injury break here for Northwestern as they work on his left leg. Anthony Shellman, 66, attending to his fallen comrade. Denson, part of that very fine offensive line for Northwestern.
And that offensive line, they were moving some people around. Coming into this game, we were real excited about the matchup of Vernon Carey, number 68, going up against the junior, number 95, James Dumerville of the Jackson Generals. But Coach Roll tries to trick things up a little bit. He's moved Vernon Carey, who's played left tackle his entire career. They've moved him to left guard. One of the questions about Carey was whether he could run block. Well, he's shown he can block for Torrey tonight.
Billy will have to reach into his bench here to replace Denson as we look at our chicken mascot on the sideline representing one of our sponsors, Church's Chicken.
James, he does that every week. You know, every week he gets in one of those outfits. It's nice to see him getting into the action down there.
I think he had that one left over from Halloween. Works for Church's on the side.
I saw him waving to me from the sidewalk the other day.
3rd and 5. Allenson Sheffield throws, and it's incomplete. David Williams, the intended receiver, the tight end, at the 30-yard line. And once again, Sheffield hit as he threw. And it will bring up 4th down and about 5 from the 18-yard line.
David Williams, the tight end, 6'3", 215 pounds, only a junior. He is definitely a guy that they need to start looking towards. And Levy Brown goes back here, and be careful. Levy Brown a week ago threw a fake punt pass. It was a punt, but he got it, and then he threw a pass when he saw an opening. So Levy Brown can make that call from the punter position.
And the Bulls will use a timeout here as they are looking at 4th down and 4 from the 18-yard line. Ronnie Jones and the Generals anxious to get their hands on the ball, and they'll have to wait a few more moments before they'll be able to do that. For more insight into high school athletics and sports in Florida, click on SunshineNetwork.com, offering news, notes, and opinions by some of the state's best sports columnists and reporters. SunshineNetwork.com, your web source for Florida sports.
And for those of you watching tonight, and obviously you love high school football, if you go on SunshineNetwork.com, go into preps and take a look at Buddy Collins' work, one of the finest high school writers in the country working for Sunshine Network on that webpage. Does an outstanding job.
Speaking of outstanding, look at this crowd at the Orange Bowl tonight.
They're still coming.
Yeah,
you didn't believe me. I said second quarter, we'll still be getting people.
Levy Brown on to punt now. Cyril Jones will take it to the 48. Trying to get outside and pick up a block. No doing there. He is brought down by David Williams, number 82. And so the Generals, still with no punt return, will have good field position after the 30-yard punt by Levy Brown. They'll start at the 47 of Northwestern.
Well, one of the questions was answered. Jackson, will they come out like they always do? Will they spread the field? The answer is yes. The question was, will Northwestern stick with what they do and bring everybody? The answer to that has been yes.
Ronnie Jones hands off. And this time it's the fullback on the carry, picking up some pretty good yardage. Running hard there, Ricky Gibbs, number 34.
Gibbs does a thankless job, as most fullbacks do at any level, and that's blocked for the tailback. The tailback gets all the publicity, but the fullback does the job blocking for him. And the rushing yards for Jackson, 34 yards, but they are primarily a passing team, so that can be somewhat misleading.
Torrey Cox has 64 of those 87 Northwestern rushing yards here in the first half. 2nd and 5. Ronnie Jones heaves it down the sidelines. Cyril Jones closed out this time by Sidney Simpson, number 1.
Sidney Simpson, this was that wheel route that he was beaten on earlier. This time did an excellent job keeping with his man and allowing him nowhere to go. Here we'll get a great look at it. Watch Simpson in his back pedal, and he sees it coming and then just opens up his hips and just runs with them. Nowhere to go on that play.
3rd down and 5. 4:04 to go here in this first half. Jones has plenty of time. Lofts one down the sidelines, well out of the reach, though, of Tavares Capers, number 7. And he's pointing at the defender, Yul Keith Brown, number 4, saying that he was bumped illegally down the sideline, but the officials are hearing nothing of it. And it will be 4th down for the Generals and 5 yards to go from the 42 of Northwestern.
Something we have to take a look at. Ronnie Jones did not start the season as the Jackson quarterback. It was King Hall, and right now, even though he's been out for 3 games, is the 3rd leading passer in Dade County. With that ineffective series for Jackson, does Coach Redmond go to King Hall?
Perhaps we'll see sooner than later. They might have time for one more possession. Here's a short snap, and the ball was fumbled. As Arthur Stewart got it. He's the up back in that punt formation and did not have a chance to try to reach the first down on 4th and 5. The ball flew out of his hands. The Bulls take over on downs anyway, and they'll get it at the 43.
Well, obviously Coach Redmond, thinking that he had to try to generate something here before the end of the half, takes a chance, trusting his defense if they didn't get it.
Cox the motion man as Allenson Sheffield and the Bulls are back on the attack. Sheffield on the short drop. He's got Bryant for a pickup of 3. Tackled quickly by Edward Roll, number 45.
Nice play by the Bulls. They put Cox in motion. That's going to stretch the linebackers out, and then they bring it back to the far side. You see Cox has already left your screen. He's to the right side. They stretch the defense to that side. Come back to Bryant.
Gain of about 3 yards.
From the 46 now, Sheffield, you look at his first half numbers. Had a couple of big gains on the ground, too. One of 19 yards for a first down. to add to the offense. Leaps, fakes the pass. Now he's going to keep it. Nice move around Williams. Picks up a block, and down the sidelines he goes to the 34-yard line. What a block thrown by Howard Lewis, number 13. And Sheffield was off and running.
Let's take a peek at this. You'll see Howard Lewis release it, and you'll see Torrey Cox release. Great play by Sheffield. His tight end David Williams wasn't open, but watch the downfield blocks. First you'll see Torrey Cox in there, then a great crackback by Howard Lewis. These guys get a lot of publicity for their catches. You don't really see them do a lot of the hard, gritty work making blocks downfield. There you did.
Sheffield picks up 18 yards down to the Jackson 34. Cox right up the middle for a short gain of 2.
Tackle was made by Stewart.
Lewis Gashelin, number 42, in on the tackle along with Arthur Stewart, number 1. Clock running, 2:47 and counting. The Bulls trying to add to a 16-7 first half lead.
The Northwestern Bulls do nothing fancy in their running game. They don't like to pull anybody. They don't like doing those things. Coach Roll said we have them in our offense, but we just like to run straight ahead. This is interesting. They're running straight at one of the best front fours, and they're getting away with it. They are moving the ball up the middle against the Jackson front line.
They moved it up the middle. They've been able to find success outside. Now Sheffield fires, and it's off the hands of David Williams. He was open over the middle, and Sheffield paid the price. He was belted as he threw. It was Gashelin, number 42, who got to him on the rush.
Well, Gashelin stated he was going to live in the general backfield, and he is. Here, Sheffield back to pass, and in comes Gashelin. It also looks like number 95 got in there, James Dumerville, with the hit on Sheffield as well.
Well, he was going to live in the backfield. He was in the general vicinity. The Generals tried to set up camp there.
No.
3rd and 8 from the 32 for the Bulls. Northwestern out of the eye. They fake the handoff to Cox. Sheffield on the run. Penalty marker down. Sheffield is tackled at the 36. And it's Dumerville and Gashelin, 42, the right side of that defensive line, working once again.
Boy, when that pocket collapses, it's almost an automatic flag.
The defender official holding.
4th down.
Holding decline. They'll take the play, which brings up 4th down. On the loss of 4, it'll be 4th and 12 for the Bulls.
Let's see if we can take a look at it. And that might have been it right there. Sheffield, he tried to do something there, and the Generals did a better job of containing their lanes. Sheffield has been killing them on their scrambles. Keep their lanes that time, and he had nowhere to run.
Sean, I can see the bands gathering on the far side. We've got a big halftime for you, so make sure you stay with us here in Sunshine Network as the bands will get a chance to perform. That punt by Levy Brown, downed by Antonio Bryant, deep in Jackson territory. And it looks like Bryant might have first touched it at the 14-yard line.
Rick, I know everyone in our audience is tuned in to see some of the best football players in the nation, but let me tell you something. They should stick around and watch these bands. They might be better than a lot of college bands. Your hair will stand up on your arms when you hear them play. And what's amazing is they're high schoolers, and they take it so seriously. And that's one of the reasons everyone shows up in the second quarter. They want to get here for the halftime show.
Well, King Hall wanted to get here for the second quarter. He takes over at quarterback for Jackson, just as Sean suspected, as he takes over for Ronnie Jones. Hands the ball off to Stephen Logan. He picks up 4 yards to the 16. As the Generals, with a clock running, starting from deep in their own territory. They got a long way to go to try to get some points on the board before halftime, and I think they just want to get King Hall into the action.
There you see his statistics, 774 yards, 6 TDs to 4 interceptions. He was the man who got Jackson to 4-1 before he was injured, slight knee bruise, and now he's in the game. Can he provide the spark?
Bulls showed blitz. Where the handoff goes to Logan up the middle. He's going to be just short, it would appear, of the first down. James Gerald, number 3, in the middle of things defensively there for Northwestern.
And with all the mistakes that Jackson has had deep in their own end zone, or deep in their own end, I should say, with 46 seconds remaining, I think Coach Redmond was just trying to run the clock out. Like you said, just give King Hall a couple of snaps in the game, and we'll probably see him in the second half.
Clock stops here with 46 seconds to go before halftime. As the Bulls perhaps feeling they can get the ball once more. It's pretty good field position.
Well, one thing that Coach Roll for Northwestern might have noticed, last week against Central in the punting game, the center had 2 high snaps. So what he might be thinking is call a timeout, see if they can stop him on 3rd and 1, and maybe they might get lucky with Jackson forced the punt on 4th down. Maybe they might get a safety, a high snap, anything. And that's smart coaching. Maybe nothing will happen, but if something happens, he looks like a genius.
Here's Batesy down on the sidelines.
Well, guys, we all know that Vernon Carey's all right, but there's a banged-up Bull over here on the Northwestern sidelines. Number 19, Rashad Smith, his helmet came down on a tackle and bumped into his eye, and his eye is swollen. He can't see out of it. He's having some trouble. He hasn't been back in the game in a long time.
Thanks, James. It's 3rd and 1 now for Jackson. And the handoff goes to Ricky Gibbs. He does get the first down. That could settle the issue right here. Clock is stopped for the moment before they move the sticks as Gibbs reaches the 24.
That's one of those small things that happen in a game. Nothing happened, but if something did, it all would come down to just little things that the coaches do.
Well, you couldn't blame Billy Roll for thinking that way, because they've been able to capitalize on a number of Jackson mistakes in this first half to help build their 9-point lead. King Hall out of the shotgun. Clock running, 23 seconds to go. Hall, the left-handed thrower. Keith Brown comes up with the interception. He fielded that one almost like a punt as it was thrown to the outside of Tavares Capers. And with 15 seconds to go in the second quarter, it's Northwestern ball on their own 46.
I'm not an evaluator. I don't know if he's big time or not, but the one thing I do know is Keith Brown, all he does is make plays. Here, great interception. And it's another little thing, may turn into nothing, but Northwestern will have maybe 1 or 2 cracks at maybe putting some points on the board.
3 turnovers for the Generals in this first half, and they have paid by giving up points. Northwestern jumped out to a 10-0 lead. They're in front here late in the half, 16-7. Allenson Sheffield, you see he's got 15 seconds with which to work. 2 wideouts to the left side. Short drop. Sidesteps a rush. He has got Bryant. He's tackled inbounds. That'll keep the clock moving as Stewart brought him down.
Timeout.
Timeout is called by the Bulls with 4 seconds to go.
One of the other advantages that both these teams have in this game that they don't in any other game is playing in the Orange Bowl with a scoreboard that's very large that also has the timeouts on it. Sometimes when you don't have a scoreboard to let you know how many timeouts you have, you kind of lose track. But they could see it. They had 1 timeout left. They get the completion, and very smartly, Sheffield calls the timeout. Will give them 1 more crack, maybe to throw a Hail Mary into the end zone. And it could happen. It almost happened last week in the Buholtz Vanguard game.
That's right. We are indeed in a big-time venue and a big-time matchup. The Soul Bowl here in Miami tonight at the Orange Bowl. And 1 play left here before halftime.
Talk about big-time crowds. I'm sure the University of Miami's looking on trying to figure out how to get a crowd this large. This is an event.
It sure is.
I think we exceeded 30,000 tonight.
Well, now it's Burnett Godby at quarterback here for the final play of the half. He's got a strong arm, heaves it down the field. The ball is juggled and it falls incomplete as Ben Johnson and Xavier Williams were battling for it. They were the closest players to it. Burnett Godby with the attempt, but it falls incomplete, and we finish up at half 16-7. Let's check in with James Bates.
Guys, I got Bulls head coach Billy Roll here. Coach Roll, when you win the special teams battle and create so many turnovers like you have, it's kind of hard to be even close, but it's a close game right now.
Yeah, it's a close, tough game, just like we knew it would be. We had some opportunities early, didn't capitalize on them, end up getting a field goal and missing one. But when we get those opportunities, we got to capitalize on them.
Right, you've won 10 in a row against Jackson. What do you say to these guys at halftime to make sure it turns into 11 tonight?
Well, we got to keep the pressure on them. Keep the pressure on them and capitalize on the mistakes that they're making and minimize ours.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thanks, James, and thank you to Coach Roll as well, as his Bulls are in front 16-7. We prepare for halftime. When we come back, we'll hear from the outstanding bands representing these fine schools.
Is it pain? Is it pleasure? Gatorade, is it in you?
Hi, I'm Dick Clark, and now everyone can enjoy the freedom of the new ISIS cellular phone from Philips thanks to prepaid cellular.
Introducing prepaid cellular from Worldwide Direct. With prepaid cellular phone cards, there's no monthly bills.
Take the phone just in case.
Thank you.
And no contract, no credit check, and no deposit. Got car trouble?
My car's broken down. Can you come and help?
Help is just a call away. So forget those outrageous phone bills. With prepaid cellular phone cards, buying airtime is easy. Order from home and the phone arrives at your door ready to use. Get the Philips ISIS prepaid cellular phone, a $199 value, now just 3 easy payments of $33. And there's no contract, no credit check, no deposit, and no monthly bills.
So pick up the phone, America. It's for you.
Now, for only 3 payments of $33, you're guaranteed cellular service regardless of your credit history. Call 1-800-841-1237. Pick up the phone, America. It's for you.
Northwestern has a 16-7 lead over Jackson, and the Northwestern band is on the field right now entertaining this huge crowd of the Orange Bowl tonight at the Soul Bowl here on Sunshine Network. Welcome back here at halftime. Roger Cuevas is the superintendent of the Miami-Dade County Public Schools. He joins us here at halftime. And Roger, turning our attention away from football for a few moments. Hard to do here at the Orange Bowl, but let's talk about some of the programs that you're instituting this year in Miami-Dade County. First of all, the mandatory reading program. Tell us about that.
We're very excited about the reading program. We have really taken this by a community effort coming from the business community. I'm amazed at what is happening with the schools. We have major sponsors that are now going to the schools and reading. We have mentors that are reading. Our goal is to have every child reading at the grade level. And these youngsters today out in the field are part of that. And one of the things that makes it so important is that we're combating the issue of truancy and dropout prevention. We need to get the kids reconnected, and this is one way that we are doing it.
So you are getting direct involvement in this program from the business community. They are coming and meeting with the kids and reading and helping them?
Every aspect of the community is now, including the Miami Herald, for example, has a major initiative which is called the Need to Read. Publix has the Feed Me a Story campaign. It is absolutely wonderful that we're focusing and simplifying what we're all about, and reading is the essence of what we do in school. If you can't read, you cannot continue on in the progress of getting on to school.
How difficult was it to get the sponsorship, to get the involvement, to get these people to jump in here and help you in instituting this program?
Well, we are a very fast-growing community, and we keep multiplying, and there are a lot of jobs that are needed. And the key to getting the youngsters ready to enter the world of work is that they have to learn how to read, write, and provide the necessary skills for the industries in here to participate. So because of the need to have a workforce, everybody is participating.
And you mentioned the Stay in School campaign, fighting truancy. Are there any additional programs tied in with that to help along in that effort?
Yes, we are now working with the State Attorney's Office, Kathy Rundle, who has initiated the Truancy Intervention Program. It is an absolute program that really allows the parents to come into school when they're having a problem. They get a letter from the state attorney because they're violating the compulsory law. So after 5 unexcused absences, those parents have to come to school. That is the beginning probably of the best dropout prevention program because it's early intervention and prevention.
Great work. We can tell that your excitement is carried over in getting the business community involved here, and congratulations on your work, Roger, and good luck with it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Roger Cuevas, the superintendent of schools here in Miami-Dade County, joining us here at halftime, and the Northwestern band continues to entertain at the Orange Bowl. Don't go away. The Bulls in front here at the half, 16-7 over Jackson.
Uh-oh, we got trouble.
Oh, please, not me.
That's gotta hurt.
Tracy!
We gotta do something.
Charge!
She's back. Let's go! Run, monkey, run!
I'm not gonna make it!
She's got monkey.
Mom!
Go eat someone your own size.
Got milk.
The Maglite flashlight. Brighter, tougher, made in America. Maglite, the perfect gift to brighten the holidays. Maglite.
The rivals of the ACC, symbols of strength and power, all fighting for a chance at the conference title. Wake Forest versus North Carolina State, Saturday at noon on Sunshine.
Welcome back to the 1998 Soul Bowl here on Sunshine Network, a part of our new Dodge Florida High School Champion Series coverage as Northwestern leads 16-7 here at halftime, and the mighty marching Bulls are on the field right now under the direction of Christopher Dorsey. Let's enjoy their performance.
The man's right there.
you enjoyed the Marching Bulls band from Northwestern Senior High School. We'll step aside here at halftime with Northwestern leading 16-7 over Jackson.
Hi, I'm Bob Vila, and I want to show you another great innovation in Craftsman hand tools. It's the Craftsman Quick Wrench, exclusively from Sears. The Quick Wrench is a combination wrench with a unique open-end design that makes it work like a ratchet. An ordinary open-end wrench has to be removed and repositioned after every turn. But the Craftsman Quick Wrench stays in continuous contact, making the job faster and easier. And what about those places where a ratchet and socket won't fit? That's where the Quick Wrench really comes in handy. It's made to reach right into tight spaces, and the ratcheting action gets the job done in no time. The Craftsman Quick Wrench can be used almost anywhere, in the garage, in the yard, and in your home. No toolbox is complete without a Quick Wrench set. And because it's a Craftsman hand tool made in America, it's guaranteed forever.
Call now to order your set of 6 Craftsman Quick Wrenches in standard or metric for only $19.99 plus shipping and handling. Use your Sears card or other credit card and call 1-800-832-5200. Call right now.
Dodge Ram was the first and is still the only full-size pickup to be ranked most appealing by J.D. Power & Associates. It was the first to offer a 10-cylinder engine, and it was the first quad cab. And now, for the first time, we're offering $1,000 back on the truck that changed the rules. But hurry, this is one first that won't last. $1,000 cash back on all new 98 Rams in stock.
Tonight's coverage of Northwestern and Jackson in the new Dodge Florida High School Champion Series here on Sunshine Network is brought to you in part by radio station WEDR. Welcome back to the Orange Bowl here in Miami on a cool and crisp evening. The Marching Generals of Jackson Senior High have taken the field. Jermaine Fleming is the director of the Marching Generals. Let's enjoy. Generals and the Majorettes have got the Jackson crowd fired up. The Generals need to get fired up, trailing by 9, heading for the second half. We'll be back with full first half highlights in a moment.
Gatorade. Is it in you?
Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Deerdorf. Where would you go for a home equity loan? Let's ask.
Well, banks have the best rates.
But banks only lend money when you don't need it.
Advanta National Bank is different. They lend money to people when they need it.
Right. With my credit?
They made their first loans 45 years ago to teachers who had trouble borrowing. They helped out when others wouldn't.
This is a bank, right?
With customers who get the flexibility only a national bank can offer, right over the phone.
Got to move all your accounts there.
Nope, just call Advanta. One of their loan specialists will show you how to use the equity in your home to pay off all of your bills. Get one low monthly payment and save hundreds of dollars a month, plus a tax deduction.
You'll wait for some board to approve.
You'll get fast approval over the phone. And your money in about 10 days. You don't need to have money in the bank to get money from a bank. To get the loan you want, call Advanta at 1-800-398-6880. You'll see they're different. Hey, they don't keep bankers' hours either.
At halftime, Northwestern leading Jackson 16-7. Here downtown Miami as you look at the skyline of this beautiful city. And we take you back inside the Orange Bowl, where Northwestern ruled for the first 24 minutes of this game, taking a 10-0 lead. They've got the 16-7 lead after one half of play. The youngsters all fired up for the second half, Sean, as we look at highlights.
Well, with the score 3-0, they give the ball to Torrey Cox. And when you're invited to the biggest dance of the year, you dance with who brung you. Torrey Cox from 10 yards out. And that gives the Bulls the 10-0 lead. But back comes Jackson here. Ronnie Jones rolling like a river, looking, finding Luther. Huggins in the back of the end zone, and he just can't be stopped by conventional weapons, and that cuts the lead to 10-7. But back comes Northwestern after Jackson turns over on a punt. On the 7th day he rested, but on the 8th day he created Torrey Cox from 23 yards out, and that is where we stand at the half. Northwestern on top of Jackson, 16-7.
Let me get you a towel. You can cool off there, Sean. Who writes your stuff? Is James writing your stuff still?
No, actually, my director helps me out. He's actually one of the cameramen here tonight, Robert Fleming. We do all that kind of stuff on Gridiron.
Well, here's the first half statistical show, and you saw Cox with a good portion of the Northwestern rushing total. Allenson Sheffield had the rest of it in that first half.
Well, when Torrey Cox, that was the big question coming in tonight. Would he be able to go up against the front four and rush? And he's done a great job. Very even in statistics. But a lot of this game has come down to the mistakes made by Jackson, the 3 turnovers.
That's right. The 49 yards rushing for the Generals. Stephen Logan's got 40 of those. As it will be the Bulls who will receive the second half kickoff. John Lewis is prepared to kick off for Jackson. It's a good foot into it. Sidney Simpson, number 1, has it. Reaching the 25-yard line. Pardon me, not Simpson, but rather Willie Streeler, number 11. The reserve quarterback and wide receiver on the return. And he'll turn the ball over to the Bulls at the 25-yard line. Their offense goes to work.
We'll have to take a peek, Rick, to see what type of adjustments that Miami Jackson will come out. They've actually played quite well on defense, not allowing Northwestern to have long drives. The question has been on offense, not turning the ball over and giving Northwestern a short field.
Burnett Godby, who threw the last pass of the first half, a Hail Mary that fell incomplete, takes over for Allenson Sheffield. here to start the second half, and he has Torrey Cox in motion. It's Godby on the quarterback keeper right up the middle, and he crosses the 35 to the 36-yard line, and it looks like he's got a first down. It is.
Well, Cox goes in motion. They empty the backfield. This is a design play. Nice block there up front, kicking out the linebacker Stewart, and that allows Godby to pick up the first down. Great job there by number 79 from Northwestern, getting a great block, and that frees up Godby.
Godby under center, Cox the lone setback. And Cox gets the handoff. A huge hole for Torrey Cox across midfield. A nice open field tackle is made by Stephen Ellick, number 11. But a big gain there of 15 yards, perhaps a couple more for Northwestern as they're rolling.
You can see they don't do anything fancy. They just have the left tackle try to kick out the end, and they have their guard try to push in the tackle, and they let Cox do the rest. He found a gaping hole, and then it's just as much as Cox can pick up before he's brought down.
On 2 plays, Godby gains 11, Torrey Cox 17. You see running his total for the night at 83 yards, averaging 5.5. He's run for 2 scores, and it's 1st and 10 from the Jackson 47. And now it is Godby, the quarterback, in motion. The snap comes to Torrey Cox, and he skirts the right end. A penalty marker down as Cox is wrestled down to the 41 by Xavier Williams, number 27.
Well, apparently, Coach Roll, those are some wrinkles. Those are some wrinkles to the offense.
Going to be a hold, though, against the Bulls. That'll back them up.
My flag.
Let's take a peek at the men up front. Cox is back there. They get a double team on Gashlin, try to kick him inside, but Gashlin does a great job getting through the double team, and it forces Cox to go out.
From the penalty, they'll mark it back in Northwestern territory at the 46-yard line. And it will be first down once again at about 17. Godby gets the snap this time, fires over the middle. He's got Antonio Bryant. He is dropped at a big tackle by Curry Burns, number 12, and he'll get it back to the 41-yard line of Jackson.
Well, they don't miss a beat. In comes Burnett Godby. Nice pass, finds Bryant, who finds the seam in the zone. Great play, and right now Northwestern, they pick it up where they left off in the first half. And it seems like they're a little bit different type of team with Godby in. They seem to have a little bit more zip in their offense than they had with Sheffield underneath center.
Now they mark Bryant down to the 37. 2nd down and less than a yard. And Godby on a keeper. Gashelin tugging on him from behind, trying to keep him from getting to the first down marker. I think he's got it. Officials carefully spot the ball. Godby, a senior, 6'1", 195. Certainly gives you more of that. He does get the first down. Does give you more of that running option. He's 30 pounds heavier than Sheffield. And Sheffield waits his turn on the sidelines. The offense turned over to Godby.
Well, he only has 38 yards passing, but he did some damage running the ball in the first half. Allison Sheffield did.
He sure did. 37 yards and a couple of big carries. 1st and 10. Here's Cox. He's got room, and he bounces it outside, fights his way to the 22. Xavier Williams catches up to him along with James Green, number 52. He's got another first down and a pickup of 14.
We've seen some great running backs on the Champion Series this year. Willie Green's the first one that'll come to mind. But Torrey Cox is a special type of back. Some people say he might be too fragile to play at the next level. Well, I'll take this kid any day. Look at him go inside and just refusing to go out of bounds. He likes to cut it up. He likes to initiate contact on his runs. And that's something to say about a guy who's only 5'10".
Well, he brings the Bulls to the Jackson 23, and it's gone beyond the quarterback draw, gets inside the 20, picks up 4 yards before the Jackson defense catches up to him. Matt Godby is moving the Bulls here early in the second half.
There you see Louis Gashlin this season, 22.5 sacks. I'm not exactly sure how much he bench presses, but I know it's somewhere in between a Chevrolet and a van.
Godby, one-step drop, and he throws it. It's picked off in the end zone. And they're going to try to bring it out. It's ruled a touchback. Xavier Williams on the interception. The officials have blown the play dead. Godby threw it well over the intended receiver who broke toward the post. He was throwing it out.
Tough decision. Really hard to see what happened there. Xavier Williams comes up. That's his 7th interception on the year. Here just tries to throw a fade pattern, but there's no one out there except Xavier Williams. And he just makes a great play. I guess you could say he was Xavier on the spot. X marks the spot right there in the end zone.
Might say that. And again, you might not, Sean, but
I think I will. I think I will say that.
First turnover to benefit Jackson tonight. They've turned the ball over 3 times. And let's see what the Generals can do with the generosity of the Northwestern Bulls, who were really moving the ball down the field, and they turned it over. Ricky Gibbs on the carry.
And some people might say, oh, what were they doing putting in Godby now? You know, now comes out the second guessers. Everyone's a genius in hindsight, but Godby threw a great seam pass to Antonio Bryant on that drive. So for him to come in and throw passes, they just picked right up with him. It was just a bad play for Northwestern.
8-yard gain on first down. Stephen Logan plunges ahead, trying to get the remaining 2 yards for a first down. Anthony Dixon, 99, the big nose guard, tackles him, and it looks like he'll have the first down across the 30-yard line.
There's still a lot of time, but I think that this is a very big drive, and there's the man that set it up, Xavier Williams. This is a very big drive. They need to put together some first downs, not make any mistakes, not have any penalties. They need to establish some consistency.
They do have the first down. You see the clock moving here in this third quarter. The handoff goes to Logan. He fights his way across the 35. A herd of Bulls bring him down, led by Jermel Weaver, number 97. He picks up about 6.
Well, they talked to Jermel Weaver, number 97, one of the double vision twins, as he comes up and makes a nice tackle. And they asked him, what do you think about the game? And he's like, well, I feel bad for the quarterback for Jackson. They go, why? Well, the game's live on television. They're going to be showing me sacking the quarterback and showing it over and over and over.
Logan met in the backfield by Issa Gary, number 60, and unable to gain any positive yardage there. He's dumped back behind the 35. I think they'll spot his forward progress at about the 36. And he'll lose a yard here, bringing up 3rd down and 5. Once again, the Weaver twins leading the charge. And Sean, you were telling me earlier in the week, Jermel and Jarrell sometimes don't wear the right numbers just to have a little fun with people.
They are playful kids. I mean, we watch them tonight and we start thinking about Division I athletes. They are playful, and like you said, they change numbers on us sometimes. Not tonight, though.
Midway through the third, Northwestern maintains a 9-point lead.
Ah, the possibilities Dodge Caravan opens up. It's a cabin in the woods, complete with heated power recliners. It's your own private ski lodge, or your workshop for building one. It's your place in the sun, complete with guest room and breezeway. Dodge Caravan, the world's most popular home away from home. Now get up to $1,000 cash allowance on Dodge Caravan.
Go for glory. Play for prizes. The NFL is now accepting applications from men, women, boys, and girls. Everybody will be playing NFL Air It Out 4-on-4 flag football. Will you?
For more information on the Pert Plus presents the Miami Dolphins NFL Air It Out, call the hotline at 1-800-680-PLAY.
Midway through the third quarter, Northwestern leads it 16-7. We're back here at the Orange Bowl, and joining Sean and myself is Cheryl Golden, who is the educational specialist, division